All right, so we're done recording today. Done trading. Today is March 10th, 2021. We are up $503. And yeah, we we're up $503. Today was a day where I was over trading. As you can see, it's 10:10, and I've taken these many trades already by 10:10, which isn't great. So I'm going to review everything that I traded and also review what I was looking at and why I took the trades that I took and when I took them. So the day started off with Apple, and I jumped in really early on the second candle or third candle at 9:32, and I think I need to stop jumping in early. Although it was a good trade, but I don't think it was the trade I should have taken. Or anyway, it worked out well. I got out too soon before my target, but because it was a scalp, I remember yesterday when I took a trade on Tesla and I was well green, and I didn't take my profits because, I said, yeah, no, I've got a target and I've got to make sure that, I'm patient, but it wasn't to be. Anyway, so I jumped in on this candle because I noticed that, in fact, I wanted to jump in on this candle, but then I was looking at the market and the market was so strong. I was looking at the 5 minute at the time, actually. And yeah, I was watching this candle develop. And when it got to VWAP and kind of broke VWAP, I jumped in, pulled back a bit. Or did it pull back? Yeah, it did pull back a bit. I had another 1 minute candle and 1 minute, sorry, my voice is shaking because of how I felt while I was trading and I didn't like it. But anyway, there was a lot of momentum and then it pulled back. And at this point I thought, okay, you probably want to get out at this point. I would have stayed. Obviously this would have made me get out, just saying that. But I decided to get out on this candle only because I remember yesterday I said, okay, my first trade, let's try and get out anyway. Let's get our profits. We're up. I think we're up like 500 and almost $500 or $500. And by the time we got out with slippage, we took a $400 profit. And I was like, perfect. I was calm and everything. Everything was great. Then I went to NIO and decided to play puts. And that's where I should have taken my profits, but I was so stubborn. So with NIO, I jumped in at the break of VWAP. Let's actually mark that. Just make sure I have it here. So I bought, I bought 20 contracts of NIO at 939.26. All right, so 939.26. I'll just mark that now. 9. Where are we? Here we go. Here we go. So I jumped in here just at the break of the VWAP, and whoops, just turn that around and turn that green. Yeah, so jumped in at the break of VWAP, and we were actually really, really green. We were, I think, about $200 or so. My target was just this level, and I just thought, let's try and see what's going to happen. And this is the problem. I was looking at the 1 minute chart. Was it the 1 minute or the 5 minute? I was looking at the 1 minute, and that's always a mistake. I realize that every time I look at the 1 minute chart, this is the setup I'm thinking I'm seeing, which is 5 minute double top, which, as you can see, it's finally hit my target, but my risk was just not good for that. I was looking at the 1 minute chart, and at the time I said to myself, okay, fine, I'm going to jump out if it reverses. And I should have jumped out a lot earlier, only because the trade was not doing, once it had broken the high of this candle, I should have jumped out. But I waited and held on to it, because even over here I was really green and everything, but I waited and held on to it. And then I think I got out. When did I get out? 945. So I held on to it for quite a while. 945, around about here. Yeah, let's just put it on this one. So I got out there, at which point I was down, I think, it had wiped out all my gains from my Apple trade. So I was down to about 70 something dollars. This is actually what I was playing for. I was hoping this would happen. So I decided to play calls on NIO. Whoops. I didn't want it to do that. Let's remove that. Remove drawing. So I decided to play calls on NIO when I noticed it broke this wedge. So I jumped in with calls. Okay, no, even let's go to the calls on NIO first, and we'll go to Snap. So I jumped in with calls at 9:53, jumped out at 9:56. All right, 9:53. Yeah, I jumped in with calls just over here. Again, looking at the 1 minute, which is never ever a good idea for wedge breakouts. I've noticed it's better you do wedge breakouts on the 5 minute. And then I jumped out at 9:56, which was round about here on, wasn't that candle, was this candle when it pulled back. Actually, I think no, I jumped out just at the bottom. I think it was, if we look at it properly, because I know I didn't get anything out of this trade. So I sold the calls at 9:50. Yeah, so this is another thing. So I had two trades going, which was another thing that freaked me out. I'm thinking, hang on, why am I in two trades? So I bought Snap, bought 20 contracts on Snap, and then went and bought 20 contracts on NIO, which was a bad idea. I should never, ever, ever trade like that, which is why I was over trading. So 9:56, I jumped out of NIO. So 9:56, actually, what was that again? 9:57.55. So just at the end when the candle was about to close, 9:57. Yeah, just about here. So I was already down at this point, and also with yeah, I was down at this point. I think I was down 500 and something dollars. So can you imagine, all the way from $400 up, went all the way down. That's really bad risk management, really bad trading. Meanwhile, I was looking at Exxon, which I wanted to trade, like explode, and just really, really getting higher and higher and higher. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so cool. So anyway, I should just waited for this wedge to form, or even said, okay, if this is a false breakout, this is going to be a really good short, or at least anticipate a false breakout, which is exactly what happened over here. Instead of jumping in with calls. So I guess the point is to just really relax and calm down. All right, so that was that. And then Snap. Oh, and then what ended up happening was when it broke this wedge, I then now just switched to puts again, and rode it all the way down to my exit, which was, so that's 9:59, and got out at 10:02. So 9:59, where's 9:59? Here. So once it broke this level, I got into it. I should have done this before I actually recorded this, but anyway, 9:59 and 10:02, I got out just about here. I remember now on this candle when I saw that green candle. I was up on this trade actually by 1,400 and something. But of course, because I was down quite a bit, my average on NIO became 390. So imagine NIO was 600 down. I recovered that 600 and then added another 400 on top of that. Yeah, also, and then also with Snap as well. Oh man, this is painful watching. Yeah, so I think once you have your composure, one can trade properly. And ideally, what I'm aiming for is to hold for this long. And I think the issue is looking at a chart like this. This makes it very difficult to make really sound decisions for a long-term trade. Ideally, I would prefer maybe just waiting for this wedge to form, and then taking it down. It was quite deceiving seeing this false break. So I'm going to remove this now. But really, this is really what I was aiming for. And also, if you really think about it, the next imbalance is down here. The next sort of, so looking at this now, there was no reason for me to have played this long at all. And really, if I was going to hold this short, my risks should have been up here when I got in the first time instead of on the VWAP. And this all has to do with the fact that I am looking at the 1 minute chart, which is definitely not a good time frame for long-term trades. So that was that. And it's just really frustrating because I'm now seeing everything. I could have held, but hey, I just wanted to make sure that I was not red today. All right, so that was that. And then Snap, again, another 1 minute chart decision, which was a whole big mess. Snap created this wedge. Oops, again. Remove drawing. Snap created this wedge here. So I got in with calls at the break of the wedge. But you see, I wasn't thinking, because if you think about it, this is a really strong supply area. There's lots of supply areas in here. Why am I going long? I guess I was fazed by the market and I wanted to jump in early to see what I could do. But then if you see the high of day that I marked over here, actually no, this was a supply region, potential supply region, which I marked. And if you look at it again, it could not get past this area or this area. It made no sense for me to go in with calls. But again, this is just jumping in with FOMO, not really having a good idea of what it is I wanted to do. And then just kind of, look at this. This is just amazing. Yeah, this is really all I wanted. Just playing the zones and just following like the price action. But again, I lost focus and yeah, it's frustrating. Even when I look at Apple now, Apple is also, whoops, this is not Apple. When I look at Apple now, Apple is, it's doing exactly what you expect it to do. So, just sort of getting in here would have been great. Of course, I got out on this demand region, which was also part of the plan, but I didn't get to it because I was looking at the wrong time frame. And then this would have been a great entry, this double top here. And then just riding this all the way down, maybe at the break of VWAP, putting my risk here, and then just taking it down. Yeah. But anyway, so at least and in fact, what's even interesting is we have a wedge here, finally. So we can take this out, remove, activate, and just place this here. So this would have been a valid entry at this point with a good risk over here, and then just ride this for the rest of the day, because I think now it's decided on which direction it wants to go. Sad. All right, so yeah, those were my trades. So as far as what I was looking at today, I saw the market do this. I plotted these regions. When the market started to rally, at first I was like, oh my gosh, the market is rallying. But then I was like, don't be worried. This is what it does. When it gets to a region of supply, voila, look at what we have. So yeah. So looking at what I was trading today, Apple, obviously, I wanted to see, and look at that, a double top. So here. This is what kind of gave me the conviction to go short, the fact that we had a double top. I, again, think I'm trading too many tickers. Like 6 tickers is a lot to focus on and very hard to really think. I wasn't going to trade Tesla, even though I saw setups on Tesla today. But I wasn't going to trade. I'm glad I didn't, because, it was the wrong setup. It was a double top again. So that wasn't a good idea. So I'm just going to remove this wedge line. This trend line can go. And then really just, like seeing a double top here is taking it short would have been great. Putting this or this as my risk would have been awesome. But obviously, I'm not going to trade Tesla because I was trading NIO. The thesis I have is NIO and Tesla follow each other, and I mean, look at that. So tomorrow, I'm going to look at this tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to adjust and work on doing things a lot better. ZOM was another one I traded, not traded, but I was looking at. I was really looking at this demand area as well, just kind of seeing where it had rallied yesterday and then came back down. And then just what's going on here? This is interesting. I plotted this for supply. I thought it would end here, but as you can see, there's actually another supply region just formed in here, which I haven't actually charted. If you actually look at it, there's a 5-minute supply zone there. So I guess the issue I have now is just really just being patient, really being patient. I don't need to, oh my gosh, looking at this, it's just painful. I just don't need to, I don't need to get into trades so early. I just need to, relax. Don't put pressure on myself. Wait for something to happen according to the plan. Let it validate your plan, which is, hey, we have a supply region over here. For instance, with Etsy, which I didn't trade, and I'm glad I didn't now, but we have a supply region. Look at what's happening. And then now it's wedging. Perfect. Now we have an entry. Get your puts ready. Where's your target? The base of this point. You have your risk here. You're going for 2-to-1. Maybe for me, I used $250 as my risk. This would have been a really amazing trade. And in fact, even before we would have gotten here, we would have just trailed it at this point and just let it go its way. And in fact, we're expecting it to break, and it did break. So this will probably be a great place to get out this green line over here. And as you can see, it's about to reverse there. So that's when you manage the trade properly. Same thing with Apple. I mean, we have, again, a nice wedge formation, and look at this fall over here. NIO, just really another nice wedge formation. Boom. Actually, there's a symmetrical triangle. They all kind of have that. This is the only one that was kind of a bit choppy at the first. And yeah, I shouldn't be trading this at all. Right. So tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down to maybe just 2 or 3 tickers, maybe just 3. And then just focus on those 3 or 2. Let's just focus on 2. I think what I'll do is I'll see maybe it's NIO and Apple, because I do like these 2. I'm not going to put Tesla on my chart. I'm definitely not going to put Snap, because I don't think I like this price action over here. Although I do like the price of the options. They're really, really, really affordable. So yeah, NIO I do like as well, because it is very liquid, a very, very liquid stock. As you can see, you have millions of people, so the spreads would be very little. All right, so yeah, that was my trading day today. At least we're green. We recovered our losses from yesterday, which is great. And yeah, should be fine for the rest of the week.